One. Hi, everyone. It's TGIF, Fidelity Maui with Mercy and Rita, and we have Pam Teal. And I just want to share with you is the end of the month. So make sure you check us out all on our social media outlets and follow us because we're going to be posting the weekly pending and sold, as well as on Tuesday, the 4th, is our Fidelity MauiCONNECTS Wailea McKenna meeting.
So make sure you guys register for that. Hi, everyone. Mercy. Thank you, Rita. And just a few reminders before we have Pam talk. August 11th is Statehood Day. So our offices are open, but the bureau is closed. So just make note if you guys are writing any quick closings on that. And then if you guys missed last week's, oh, was it last week? This Tuesday, actually. This Tuesday's Fidelity MauiCONNECTS, we did have Bud Pikrone with Wailea Community Association updating us about the community plan of Wailea and also what's happening because of COVID. So we do have the video right after this. And so make sure you guys check that out. And then we are so stoked to have Pamela Jane update you guys with what's happening in escrow. So Pamela Jane, take it away.
All right, thanks guys. Hi, happy end of the month, yay! Okay, so one of the things I wanted to bring up because it seems to keep residually happening is the fact is if you do have foreign sellers or foreign buyers that have to sign documents that used to be with the American consulate in the countries that they're in, a lot of those American consulates are still closed. So the Bureau of Conveyances has come up with a solution, but it is a slow process of solutions. So basically, if you're in an escrow and you've got a foreign seller or foreign buyer, get everything into escrow as fast as possible so the deeds can get ordered, the mortgages, whatever has to be taken care of. Because the list, every time we turn around, is changing from the bureaus, and we have to go with them. But the biggest thing is, of course, is that they have to go to a notary public in their area. And like, for instance, in Canada, there are barristers, okay? Not all countries have barristers, but you have to go to a notary public to have your documents notarized. Then because of that, there's special verbiage that has to be within the notary section. So we have to make sure that's in there. If these notary publics don't put that verbiage in, then we have to put it in when the document gets back here to make sure it's in there for the review. Also, the notary has to provide their membership card and the law of society verbiage that they're authorized to be a notary in this country that they're in. They can get that online. They should have perfect access. They know where to go to get it, but they have to include it back with the documents. Those documents, when they do get done, we ask our sellers or buyers to email it back to us so we can look at it, make sure it's done to where we can see it, and then we forward that over to our title and recording department for them to review and make sure we can get that to the Bureau while the seller or the buyer is federal expressing the documents back. So there's a little bit of time there we get to work with, but if we can't see certain information on that notary seal, like for instance, if it's embossed versus it's a stamp, we can't see it. So that embossing stamp has to come back to Hawaii. We have to make sure we shade it, and then we can see it. So those are the couple things that come up when we get all that done. So it's a step-by-step basis, guys. Let your escrow officers take care of it, but just know to contact us, let us know what's going on, and please educate your sellers as much as you can or your buyers, and we'll help them too. Patience is a virtue. We need to keep going straight with this and make sure that it's done properly.
I have actually a question, Pam. I'm sorry.
Yes.
How are you finding the return of deeds being drafted by attorneys? Are they back in their offices, or are they still mostly working from their homes?
A lot of them are still at home. I have a couple of attorneys that said they don't even know if they're going to go back to work. They like working at home, but they're doing very well. Okay. Most of our attorneys that we work with, we get our deeds within 1 to 2 days, and if we need a rush, they're right on top of it for us.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pam, for the update. Thank you guys for joining us, and please don't hang up yet, and make sure you check out the Bud video. Have a great weekend, you guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
One of the big topics, obviously, that everybody's curious about is when are we reopening in Wailea? We had a meeting, or I had a meeting with all the GMs yesterday. That was a follow-up to a meeting with the mayor last week, which was not too encouraging. Everybody wants, obviously, to reopen, get business back, but there's also the safety concern. And since the state hasn't really figured that out yet, how to protect everybody from those coming over on flights, it's kind of difficult for the hotels and that to open with a quarantine in place. So they're still working on that, trying to get some resolution. It's not going to be easy. They are working on what they're calling like a bubble for instance, for Wailea, where we do geo-tracking and that. That's a thought that's going through everybody's mind right now, and see if we can present that to the county at some point soon. But it does not look like September 1st is going to be a reopening. So it's going to get pushed back. Some are even saying it could be November. So that's where we kind of stand on reopening. But that doesn't mean that things still aren't happening here in Wailea. A lot of the hotels have projects going on to get ready. Andaz has the new 19-suite wing that should be topping off probably in the next week or two, which also means that that crane will finally go away in the next few weeks. It's expected to open in March 21. The Marriott has been extending their lower lanais on multiple units to create more living space. So they're trying to just do some, again, just trying to do some small improvements. Keilani completed their reno of the adult pool, including a new large jacuzzi. They've added PV panels on the roof, and they're in the preparations of planning room renovation. Hotel Wailea, where our office is here, is completing a renovation on the restaurant seating and bar area, as well as a lobby reno, including a new lobby bar, which my staff is very excited about. So we'll find out when that's going to open, probably in the next couple of weeks, at least. I'm sorry, not open, but be completed, and open whenever the hotel can. Also, speaking of hotels, there's a new AC hotel, which is by the Residence Inn. That is scheduled to open on December 15th, if everything else is open. Restaurants, the shops is scheduled to be completed in their renovations on the third week of November. Hopefully that goes well. It doesn't look like it right now, but yeah, I see the shaking heads. It does not look well. But that is the target that they've given us. So in there's only one restaurant, or I should say there's two restaurants open for takeout right now, Tommy Bahama's and Lineage, with Lineage opening up Friday for seating. Pita Paradise and Akamai Coffee are the only two restaurants in Wailea that are open. The other development that's being planned, I think that's something you'll probably be interested in. The MF7 or Liloa project, which is a parcel between Kaimalu and Okalani. It was approved a number of years ago. When Ledcor came in, they did some changes to the plan, slight changes to improve it actually. And they are now awaiting sales to begin construction. This is a project of 70 units, 5 per 15 buildings. So they could possibly start early next year, depending on their sales. They also have, this is Ledcor, has another parcel, which we used to call the SFS or school project parcel. And that's between Teal and the dog park, and also between Kapili Street and Alanui. So it's a 26, 27 acre site. It was planned on being large acre sites. They are looking at it as being 57 homes in a condominium setting, so a county minimized program. There's a large parcel that is actually 3 or 4 parcels combined that runs from Okalani all the way to the Gateway Center along the Pilani Highway. They're above the golf course. They have come to us with a conceptual idea of over 200 units in there of mixed. It'll be condos, it'll be townhomes, it'll be a little bit of commercial in there, and some TVRs also. Not many, but some to support the families coming in and have something for rental in there. Those are the big projects. And of course we have other You got Makalii being built right now, and there are a number of single-family homes being built in Wailea. So there are things happening. But other than that, we're just going along as usual, trying to keep everything looking nice and waiting for reopening. We will have more information as we get it. Like I said, we're planning on another meeting with the GMs probably next week to just recap some of the conversations that we planned having with different government officials and different companies to see what we can do to speed things along, or at least make it safe to get started on opening. But right now, as I said, it does not look like September 1st is going to happen at all. It's probably going to be closer to November. Some people have even said, well, maybe we'll have a Christmas present and be open for Christmas. So it's going to take a while before anything opens up. The mayor made some comments basically saying that we can expect to have 20% of our population leave the island because everything's going to be shut down and not back to normal. And he said, don't expect hotel and tourism, basically tourism, to be the same. I don't think anybody does, but you've got to at least, you've got nothing else right now that's going to support the island and support any changes that you may want to make to diversify. So we have to get something going here. And that's our goal right now, is to just try and get things open, get people back to work, and try and bring back a little more normalcy to the world here on Maui. So with that, I don't know if there are any questions.
Yeah, there will be questions. Just to let you guys know, we are recording this, so we will send out the link to you. Thank you, Bud. A couple of questions. One is, a question was asked, when is the WCA starting their building? I'm not even sure what Robbie Dean asked that question, if it's a joke or whatnot.
No. I laughed though. We're still in the county planning. We've been there for 2 years. We think we finally got it all. They've got everything. We got shipped. We've got everything. Everybody signed off. We've got some. It's still one little thing that their legal department's looking at, an easement over an easement that they required. We didn't understand, but we did it anyway. So I'm hoping that we can get this in before the Planning Commission yet this year and break ground as soon as possible. We are, shovel ready, as they say, and I know the mayor's been talking about trying to move along projects to keep construction going and that, and we're ready. So
Okay.
hopefully by the end of the year.
Where's your building going to be at? Oh, sorry, where's the building going to be at?
Oh, the building's going to be at, if you know where the large grassy parking area is, where during the film festival cars park. Yeah. That's the only parcel that we own. It was given to us by A&B to maintain as a parking area. So in the corner, upper corner, which isn't really used that much, but in the upper corner near where the drainage gully is there, that's a little part of that we're going to take. It's about a 3,500 square foot building to house our office and also be a community center where you can get a couple hundred people in there, and it's all opens up, and we'll be able to have the small individual community meetings. We'll have classes, cultural events, and that in there. So it's we're looking forward to it, getting it started, and hopefully we will soon, before I retire.
Katie Foxwell has a question. Do you anticipate WCA to increase their annual fees to make up for any shortfall? And are you seeing this also within the AOAOs, forecasting any kind of increase?
Not at this time. I haven't seen anything about the individual AOAOs doing that. They're all probably in their budget process right now. It's kind of a little delay on it because of everything that's going on. We are not going to increase. We'll probably go back to what it was, but we're not going to be adding on and increasing. We made a calculated decision there that we could reduce by 50%, and with things that we were doing internally here, be able to cover that for the rest of this year and then go back to normal in the beginning of 21. And that's again, we haven't even completed our budget process because we're looking at what possibilities we can do to possibly extend that reduction for another half year, but we haven't made that decision yet.
But you confirmed that September 1st is not happening and it's possibly even November or December 1st. There are some rumors out there that the Grand Wailea is having some sort of special function coming up for, I think, the month of August. Is there any truth in that? And do you see Four Seasons or Grand Wailea opening up any sooner than possibly November 1st?
Anything is possible if things happen with the state government and the quarantine. They're all saying they can't open with the quarantine. They're looking at this new technology where you can, not that new, but you can geo-track within a fenced area, as they call it, where we can put a boundary around Wailea and you have to stay in that. Or there's notification that goes out and you can get in trouble, however we define that. That is, the hotels are very much looking at that. They're closely looking at that. The Grand, some of these hotels have had groups saying they are coming. However, if they can't open and they can't, without a quarantine, I doubt that that will happen. They were all just assuming that things were going to open August 1st and then September 1st. But I don't have any confirmation that a group has confirmed that they're coming. There has been talk of a couple.
Okay, any other questions? Put it in the chat box, you guys. We value your time, so we want to just make sure we get to that. And again, we're recording it, but it doesn't look like it. Thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it. You are welcome to stay on. And those of you, I just really want to encourage you to stay on, because what we have prepared for you is, it's one thing to know what happened the first half of this year for statistics, but if you have any antsy sellers or buyers, we literally have a second quarter comparison for just second quarter for South Maui versus last year. So it may be helpful to explain that to your clients. Any other questions before Bud stops talking?
Or has to go.
Has to go.
I just want to say one last thing.
Sure.
Any of you, anytime, call our office with any questions you have.
Thank
you have a question about any of the development going on and you want some information, you can always call. You can even set up an appointment to come in and look at the plans for the projects and that. So we can have, I see a question just popped up here about vacation rentals in their new development. The first two developments, Bob, are not going to have vacation rentals. The large parcel that is probably 7 years off at the earliest of starting that project, that will have a small section of vacation rentals as part of that project. The way that's being developed and looked at right now, it's almost as if it's going to be a small village. They have different types of housing. There's going to be a walking path that will lead all the way from Alanui and Okalani up through their parcels and properties all the way up to Gateway Center. I mean, they're making it like a little village, a little commercial spot in there where they may have a coffee shop and stuff like that. But it'll be limited in the amount of vacation rentals that will be part of that. And they're looking at that as supplementing their the rest of the little town area so that relatives and people can come and stay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you again, Bud, for joining us.